Today, I'm going to take a look at 1414 BC Siege of Syracuse. This is part of the Great Sieges, a line of games from Worthington Publishing. I've already covered 1565 Siege of Malta, which is part of that line, and got this from Worthington. They were kind enough to send this to me. This one has its own story on how it got to me. It was a giveaway on the War Room from Idjester, but it came via Douglass Gearhart. So you do the math. So I got this from Douglass in the mail, and I call him Douglass, Mr. Gearhart. I want to thank him. Want to thank Idjester. Want to thank the War Room. Take a look at any of their content. And support them as well. So this was kind of a surprise here. This is a game from Dan Fournie. The previous one was from Maurice Suckling, and I think there's a third in the line of Great Sieges that deals with Canada. So for those of you out there, I need to complete the set. So this is not an unboxing of sorts, or it's kind of an unboxing. It's not in shrink, but it was listed as, or put out as, unplayed. And so I opened it up, and the pieces were open, but everything seems to be there. And I thought I'd put it back together and take a look at it with you all as we open the box. So here we go. This is a typical Worthington box, good thickness. The baggies were there, so you know it's got to be complete. It has a battle tablet here. Now, one of the things about the Great Sieges series, they can be played solitaire or opposed. And so you have this battle tablet here to keep track of, was it a solitaire game or a two-player game? And you can keep track of all your dates here. This is something that Worthington doesn't do it in all its games, but is starting to do it more often. It's where you, especially games that you can play solo, so they can keep track of that kind of stuff. It has a rule booklet. Take a look at the rules here. The rules are not long. They are 12 pages, but that's including, looks like, some background information and notes. Yeah, historical notes. So really, you're looking at just a little over 10 pages of rules. They're dual column, but there are some colored images in the throughout. And this is a game is what I would typically call kind of a static battle game. I mean, there are positions on the board that kind of fixed positions, and you move either in or out of those fixed positions. It's not a hex game or an area control game or even a point-to-point game as such, in that you're really just you're either in that fixed position or you're out of that fixed position. There's not a lot of variability or options of where you move to. This is a siege game, and one of the interesting things here is there's kind of this one of the key aspects of this is this building the wall. The Athenians are trying to build a wall to kind of wall them in, so to speak, the Syracusans. And the Syracusans are trying to build a counter wall. So there's this battle of the walls going on in this game. And there's also, there's fleets. This is a kind of a naval siege of some sort, and you're trying to, the Athenians are trying to use their fleets as a blockade to try to hem them in as well. So, and it's card driven, of course, and that's going to be the primary way of how things are done, and it also lends itself to a solitaire system. Now, unlike in 1565, I believe you could, well, I know you can't, you can play either side. This one, I think you can only play the, I think you can only play the Athenians solo. I'm not sure about that. I think that's what I remember reading on this. Here's your sequence of play. And as you see, you have a whole, a full page example here, color example. So as I said, it's 11 pages of 10 plus pages of rules, but a lot of that is used for examples and images. Movement, blockade, walls and counter walls, morale, and how you win the game. The solitaire Syracuse deck represents the passage of time during the campaign. When the last card is played, the campaign is over. If you have not won the game at this point, you will have been defeated by Syracuse and their allies. The Corinthian reinforcements have arrived, and your Athenians are doomed to their historical fate: defeat, capture, slavery, and death. So, and at least in the solitaire, they're using the deck as a timer. That's common in card-driven solitaire games, the old States of Siege games, which Worthington is republishing several of those. The deck is kind of a timer in that regard as well, and when you have till the end of the deck to accomplish what you need to do. Or in the States of Siege games, a lot of times it was hold out, right? You have to get through that deck. Once you got through that deck, you won. And if the other side were to breach your center's position before the end of that deck, then you lose. So here's the 2-player version. So this was designed as solitaire, but you can play as 2. But again, I think you only play the Athenians on the solitaire side. So not a lot of 2-player rules. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes there. Then you have the order books. Here's the Syracusan order book. And this is similar to, if you want to, I'll put a link to the 1565 Siege of Malta. They had orders in here, what you could do and how you chose them. This looks somewhat familiar. I don't know if it's the same system, but it looks familiar or similar. And then you have... and you get the solitaire sequence of play. So you can have this out because you can't play the Syracuse, so you can have that off to the side. Here's the Athenian order book. And again, these are the different orders that you can do, or basically referring to the different areas. That's kind of weird how it keeps sliding like that. The different areas that you can go to, like attack the lowlands, attack the plateau, build lowland wall, build plateau wall, move troops, move ships, rest and repair. So those are your different orders. And you got the 2-player sequence of play on the back of that one. But you'll be using this. How are you going to do that? Then you get the boards, and just like with consistent with Worthington's production, it's a mounted board, and it's very nice. Worthington does good production quality work, if not great production quality work. Let's pull this out here. So we see the whole board. So this is your morale track, and that will probably be a way to lose the game. These are these fixed positions, or what I call kind of static battle. These different positions where you'll start out, and you can move to some of these other ones. You'll see these that are a little bit shaded out. Those are places where you might be able to move over time, or a card, like in the solitaire game, the card might move some of the Syracusan forces over there. But there's not a lot of options. It's not like an unlimited, you can't do a big flanking maneuver because this is the only places you can move. And here's the fleets and the different places where you can move your fleets, and you're trying to get them out here to blockade. I think that's a potential victory condition, is to get a blockade going. And there you have it. So I think it's a very clear, crisp, clean board, and like the color to get a little bit more alliteration there, but it does what it needs to do in that regard. Then you have the bits, and this comes with the Worthington tray, and you have basically your army units here for each side, nice wooden bits in their proper color. You've got wall pieces. This is the Syracusan counter walls. This is the Athenian walls that you're trying to build in, which is, I think, again, one of the victory conditions. Then you have your fleets for the Athenians. Then you have the cards that you'll be using in the game. And this is, well, these are the, I think this is for the 2-player game. So I wonder how you pull these out. I got to read up on the rules, how you pull these out, if you pull these out for the Athenians for the regular game. But these are like, you see that it says 2-player there. Then you have the solitaire games. So I guess you have a separate deck here. So this is the solitaire phase 1. You have some different solitaire cards here. They have a different back, and you have solitaire phase 2. So like you have 2 phases of solitaire. And that is the, there you have it. Those are the cards. I got to read up how they do this. I think I said before, I think it's card driven. I think it's order. You know, you have these orders that you do. The solitaire basically is kind of card driven, or at least card resolved because of the Syracuse deck. But the cards you use in this, I think, augment the game. For you can do different things during the game based on these cards. I have to read up on that to see how that plays out in the solitaire. If you use, I don't think you use any of those in the solitaire. You just go through this deck, and you're just selecting orders off your order book. Order up. So, and then you'll need the Syracusan order book when you play 2-player. But otherwise, I think it's going to be using its deck to tell what it does during a turn. So there you have it. That is what you get in a box of 1414 BC Siege of Syracuse. Much like what I did with 1565, I'll try to do a, after I play it, I'll after action report. I'll probably play it solitaire first, or solitaire a few times. Try to do an after action report and let you guys and gals know what I think about this. But I like the look of it. I think it looks really nice. I've been eyeing this series, the Great Siege series, for a while, and I think there's one more game in it, and maybe there'll be others as well. I need to keep my eye out for that. So if you have played this, either solo or 2-player, love to hear your thoughts on it. What do you think? How do you think it portrays the historic action? And anyway, I want to thank Doug. I want to thank Idjester. I want to thank the War Room. I want to thank you all for stopping by and listen to me prattle on. I really do appreciate that. And hope you have a good one, and take care. Thanks for watching.